I had an experience earlier this year where I saw you in Boston, and I told you that I'd really started getting to meditation. I'd started seeing a lot of things that were new to me. I call them mystical experiences now. They're not of any form or shape, but just a lot of things that supposedly aren't there. And as I got more and more into meditation, I got more and more sensation during meditation. And these sensations would even happen when I was not in the meditative state. I would be going about my day and I would feel the electrical tingles, the sensations in my body. And they would get pretty intense. And then one day at work, I briefly lost the use of my right hand. And it scared the heck out of me. And it started happening on and off. And I did go to see a physician. And they did a whole lot of tests. And then they called me at work and said, "You have MS." And for about an hour, it was about the worst hour of my life. And then I said, "No, I don't accept this." And I started doing a lot of affirmations during the day. I wasn't really feeling it, but at least while I was doing the affirmation, I didn't feel as bad. And then I started...
Can you imagine the diagnosis they would give Esther?
I thought about that a lot. I started digging up a lot of tapes that I remembered had addressed this, and one of the email groups I belonged to, all of a sudden people started posting all sorts of things that Abe had said on health. I never mentioned my problem, but the post started showing up. And one thing you suggested was to just sit down and meditate on health and allowing well-being and asking the universe to heal and asking your inner being to help you heal. And I did that, and one day during these sessions, I felt my hand raise off of my lap, except that my hand was still on my lap. So it was in two places at one time, and I started telling my inner being, "There's nothing wrong with my hand. It's everything else they said." And I started arguing with whatever was going on. "You're not getting it right. This is not where the problem is." And about 2 weeks later, I had another appointment with a specialist, and he looked at all the tests, and he said, "There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. You have some minor nerve damage in your right hand, and you wear a brace for a few weeks, and everything will go away." And that's exactly what happened. So but what it really brought home to me was about the same time, these experiences with the light have been getting more and more frequent, but I don't trust what's going on anymore.
Well, let's talk about it just a little bit, because it's hard to trust things that everybody isn't living. In other words, if everybody's living, you say, "Well, what's the normal experience?" And everybody said, "Well, it's this and this and this." And you say, "Oh, well, that's my experience. Well, then I guess that's all right." But when you are having experiences that everybody is not necessarily having, it's like when you see your dog respond to a sound that you can't hear, do you say, "You stupid dog, there's nothing happening. You're just acting like you can hear something that I can't hear because you're a nutcase"? You don't say that to him. You accept that your dog is able to receive a vibration that your apparatus is not tuned to hear. And so when you see energy that others are not seeing, don't assume that it is because something is wrong with you. Instead, understand that you have the ability to translate energy that everybody else is not translating.
I can accept that, except that something did go wrong with my body.
Well, let's talk about what happened there, because when you think in terms of energy, and do you accept that when it is asked, it is given? In other words, have you
Yes.
been listening to us long to intuitively know that? And so can you sort of feel how when you set forth a desire for something, that the energy comes in response to that desire? And can you imagine the momentum of that? And then can you imagine holding thoughts pretty often that are not necessarily a match or up to speed with that momentum, that could cause a sort of short-circuiting? In other words, the best analogy that we've ever conjured relative to this is if you're going 5 miles an hour and you hit a tree, it's not really a big deal. If you're going 100 miles an hour and you hit a tree, it's a bigger problem. So what happens to people who are trying to compare their bodily experiences is they're not taking into account how fast the energy is moving, you see. And so somebody who doesn't have much desire can hold more negative thought and not have negative repercussions. Where somebody who really has the energy revved up in a powerful way, a little negative thought goes a long way. So all that's happened to you is you got your energy moving faster than your ability to allow it. That's all. So you just had a sort of short circuit. Temporary.
Which explains why there was absolutely no pain involved, because they all thought there should have been pain, given what they were diagnosed with.
Well, you see, they are all handicapped because they do not know about the energy flowing. They're having to take your face value as their facts. And the way medicine usually works is they find an end result and then they extrapolate backwards to try to figure out what caused it. And they are flying blind. They are basing it on all kinds of other studies in which you don't fit in. In other words, you've got results that others have got, but you've got things missing that others have. And so they're just trying to piece it together to make some sense of what you're living. And most of them don't have very much time to spend in trying to figure it out, you see. That's why we said to our friend who is visiting with people who have different things happening in their body, if he can say to them, under all conditions, no matter what their symptoms are, what's been bothering you, he is faster to get to the root of what's happening to them than any tests will ever give you, because what's bothering you is always what is at the heart of your resistance, and your resistance is always at the heart of your short-circuiting every single time, no matter what the diagnosis is, every single time.
Well, one thing I felt really powerless about was that trying to put a broader perspective on it, I knew that every type of disease was based in resistance, but I was really happy at that time. I thought
That's why we were saying to you that when your car is going 100 miles an hour, a tree is a bigger problem, because you're basing your comparison of how you're feeling based on other people. And you say, there are a lot of people a lot more negative than I am that aren't having a paralyzed arm. What's up with that? And we say, they don't have the same energy stream moving. It's a different combination of things that are happening, you see. And so it's not easy, we know, to trust your well-being in the face of well-being not happening. We understand that. In other words, being around somebody who's experienced something less than what they want almost always activates a vibration of vulnerability within you. And you almost always get a little off-kilter for a little while. And it's a funny thing. Circumstances and events will culminate to give you the very thing you worry about. Esther's father had open heart surgery a few years ago. And Esther's sister called and said, the doctor who is attending Daddy wants us girls to come in because he says what's wrong with Daddy is congenital, and we've probably all got it too. And so we're making some appointments. When can you be here? And Esther said, how does never sound to you? In other words, a little resistance going on there, but she was not going in there for any sort of examination, and she wanted to make it very clear. But she heard enough from her sister to activate a little vibration within her. That night, while she was putting herself to bed, her heart raced in a very strange way. Now, why would that be? Well, it was because she had some fish for dinner that had a big dose of MSG on it. She was not aware of that, but her vulnerability brought her right to that, you see. Okay. Then the next day she awakened, and she didn't feel so good. And then the next day, Jerry had a big cellar built in the floor of the garage, a place that he thought that he could keep some potatoes and things from the garden. And on the top of it, what it really is a septic tank, which is right in the floor of the garage. And its lid at that time was a septic tank lid. Now, if any of you have ever picked up a lid to a septic tank, it's a very heavy concrete lid. And so one day, right after this, Jerry said to Esther, would you like to look in the root cellar? And Esther said, there is nothing I would like more. So they went to the root cellar, and each of them took hold of the big heavy thing, and they lifted it off. And Esther, without realizing it, pulled one of her ribs just a little bit loose. In other words, this was a very, very heavy thing. Now, at the time, she was so excited about doing it, she didn't realize that she had hurt herself. But that night, when she put herself in bed, heart pain. It took her a few days to even remember picking that up. You get a sense of what we're talking about? All things worked in cooperation to help convince Esther that she was troubled in the way that the doctor had said that she was. In other words, there was a vulnerability activated within her without her even knowing that it was activated, and if she hadn't lived through it, she would not have come to the conclusion and the awareness that she now has. Anything that you begin to decide, the universe will begin to cooperatively help you to prove to yourself. Anything, you see. And so, since you are the creator of your own reality, we just think it would be wise to create well-being. Now we're going to put another piece in here, and we do it lovingly because it is our absolute knowing that physicians are a body of physical human beings who have in their mass and at their core a desire to assist in powerful ways. They also have a business. And your bodies are the nucleus through which they will mine their product. It's just the way it is. In other words, they're not selling soap. And so it's sort of like your government passes laws because if there are not laws for you to break, then there's no reason to put you in the jail, which is their version of the hotel business. In other words, it's economically based, you see. And so, and everyone's intentions are all a part of this. Jerry and Esther they had the good fortune a few years ago of sitting at a restaurant near a medical center. And a group of 8 people had just come back from a medical seminar. And the restaurant was so crowded and the tables were so close together that Jerry and Esther might as well have been sitting at the same table. They could hear every word that was being offered. And each of these people had been to a different breakout session, and now they were together, and each was reporting on what they had learned so that everybody could have the benefit of the whole seminar. And the piece that Jerry and Esther heard that was happening at the time that they were eating was a section on how to make certain that your patient continues to do business with you. And they were instructed that when you give diagnosis, whether it is a positive diagnosis or a negative diagnosis, always instruct them to bring other people with them, because the probability of future experience with them is greater if there are more numbers. Never give the positive report first. Save it to last. If you have information to give to someone, tell them that they must bring someone with them, because their likelihood to deny what you are telling them is very strong, but their mother or their mate is more likely to hear it and more willing to follow through with what you are offering. And Jerry and Esther left the restaurant then, knowing clearly for Esther for the first time that medicine is first and foremost a business. Now, we are not saying that it is not of value. We are just saying you have to decide how you want to play within it. And we do not think that it is ever any advantage to anyone to fan the flames of your sense of vulnerability when well-being is the dominant part of your physical process. So if someone said to us in physical format, there is potential for illness within you, and you should come for regular checkups so that we can find it in the early stages, we would say, there is far more potential for wellness, and that is the part that I intend to look for.
I do have...
Your doctors may not want to come to our seminar. It is a sort of different message.